Hello YouTube, this is Undeads93 coming back at you with week number 3 of my key animated animes month. Which, in my opinion, has been going pretty well, in my opinion. Now we focus on our third, my second favorite of the key animated animes. These might change over time. Not really, maybe. Arrow Stows stay at the bottom. Number one definitely stay at the top. Maybe. It depends. Angel Beats and Canon will probably keep swapping around since they're both really good and kind of hard to choose one over the other. So, stop my random ramblings and let's get on with this. So, this is pretty much the only one that isn't based off a visual novel, which you'll probably see by watching this. It doesn't feel much like a key animated anime. Well, because it has other companies working with it. So, there's that. Sorry. Very thirsty. So, there's that. So pretty much, let's get to the plot of this anime. So, pretty much, gotta stop saying that. In this anime, you have your main character, who pretty much wakes up in purgatory. You might ask, what is purgatory? For people who don't know what purgatory is. Purgatory is pretty much, when you die, purgatory is pretty much where you go that's like between heaven and hell. You might think, hey, that's like pretty much being alive still. Yes and no. So, yeah, pretty much you can die there. Pretty much just can't go to heaven, can't go to hell. Pretty much you're stuck. So, you have your main character, Otonashi. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. I kind of suck at pronouncing names. So pretty much he arrives there, and you have our main female character. Kind of. Yeah. So, and that is Yuri. So pretty much he meets her when she has a freaking gun. She's ready to shoot our other main character, which is Angel. And pretty much he's like, okay, you have a gun and you're trying to shoot the chick who's doing nothing. So I'm like, screw you, you're crazy. I'm going to go see what she does. And when he does, he gets stabbed in the chest. And this pretty much just works around of pretty much him finding out his past memories, since he has amnesia of his past life. So he has to kind of figure out his life and also to help everybody else in this universe. Sorry about that again. To pretty much in a sense, ascend to pretty much heaven, in a sense. So, pretty much, you have your main antagonist for, I think, about half of this series. Yeah, Angel's about antagonist for about half of this series, which she's a good antagonist, because she isn't, like, let me think of another show. Let me just put up another anime that I completely despise. Like Elfen Lied. I completely hate all the villains in that show. Actually, I hate most of the characters in that show. Sorry if anybody like Elfen Lied. I completely hate that show, and I'll be glad when I review it, because I hate it. I'll get to that dying bone in the future, but whatever. So pretty much, yeah, I hate their villains, and pretty much you get to know Angel as Otonashi pretty much interacts with her. You get to learn about Yuri and her backstory, and her backstory is like hella crazy. It's like, yeah. Also, every person that you learn of a backstory, it's a fucked up backstory. Sorry for my language, but every person in this show, if they have their backstory told, is fucked up. Just say. It's like, you have your main character, messed up backstory. Second character, messed up backstory. Angel doesn't really have much of a backstory until you learn, like, at the end. It's a very awesome backstory, still. I think there's, like, 3 other characters you can learn the backstories of. And that is, Hinata, who, his backstory was okay. It wasn't really going much into depth. I think his backstory goes more in depth in the manga, which I read a bit of, because he's the main character. Which, I was like, who's the other character that she's in the band? Masami. Sorry for mispronouncing that name. Pretty much, her backstory is hella sad too. Yeah, so like, yeah. And then my favorite character, which is Yui. Her backstory's, yeah, her backstory made me cry. Yeah, well, hers and Angel's. Because after everything builds up, it pretty much is like, wow. So, one thing is, I really suggest watching this anime, but not if you're, yeah. But if you don't cry during this anime, you have no soul. No soul. So let's continue. So pretty much we meet everybody else, eventually, of this, in Purgatory. Most of them aren't really given much well, you don't really get to know most of the other characters. Mostly just have their minor quirks, which works with having to deal with, let's see, you're dealing with, like, I think, like, 20 characters. The characters that get the most development are probably the 5 characters that are at the end of the show, which are, Ochinachi, Yuri, Angel, Hinata, and second antagonist that gets introduced into the show. I don't want to give away him because his backstory is kind of fucked up too. Kind of. His backstory wasn't as good as, like, Angel's or Yuri's or Yui's or Ochinachi's. So yeah. Water, you need it. Not, you'll get a dry throat. So, let's see, what else to go with this? Yeah. The only thing I do hope with this anime is it will be longer. Because the main reason is this anime is kind of short, and it kind of just keeps throwing action at everything. Well, just keeps throwing plot at everything. It catches the plot every so and now, but there are characters and some plots that kind of just fall through the cracks. It's like most of the characters, I think, like, at the second or third to last episode, pretty much all the other side characters go away since, hey, because they started getting people to go to wherever, heaven, pretty much heaven, hell, wherever they're going to go. So it's like, yeah, you guys are going to go off screen. Yeah, it's kind of the one bad part about this anime is it has so many characters that you can't really focus on all of them. They just have to have their own minor quirks. But it's still good anime. Let me think. The animation in this show is done quite well. From most key anime. It doesn't have the super moe-esque, since it kind of balances, like, I think, like 4 or 5 different genres. So you have some forms of action in it, some form of romance. You have drama completely out of everywhere. Excuse me. Whatever. It's kind of it, but yeah. Pretty much, let's see. Yeah, so it's a very sad anime. I suggest you watch it. It's quite good. So I'm not really, like, big on this anime. Just I only watched it once, and I only after I watch an anime, I kind of only rewatch it after I kind of forgot about it completely, or if I really want to rewatch it. So sorry about that with like Canon and Air. It's just either that or if the anime just gets stuck in my head and it's like, yeah, I'm going to remember all of that crap like Elfen Lied. Can't wait to get that thing out of the way, which I'm going to be glad to get that done in October. Because it's going to be an October themed. October's going to be hell for me. So, also, Yuri needs to stop changing the name of their dang club thing. It gets like, I think like 5 to 6 like name changes. It's like, hey, it's this name, and then this name, and this name, and I think they like come up with a name like at the end. And it's like, okay, well, there's only like 5 of you guys, so I guess that's the name now. So, what else is there? All the characters that get development are pretty good. Like my favorite character, Yui, she kind of gets some form of development. She's very likable in my opinion, especially with her backstory. Such awesome backstory. Awesome montage with just music going over it. I suggest watching that episode. Also just watching the last episode, because those two are pretty much the episodes that pretty much stab at your like heartstrings the most and twist it, and then twist it some more and twist it some more, and then take it out of you and stab you at least one more time, which is awesome. I like what that key does this. Like, hey, guess what? We're just going to keep stabbing and cutting away these little cords of happiness that you have, and let's make it all sad. And it's like, bam! It's like, yeah, guess what? Nope, even more. So it's like, yep. So yeah, there's also kind of like an anti-religious thing in this anime, which I don't mind, because I could really care less. Also, a thing that I also thought was weird, it's like through half of the series, you'll think Angel's a robot. Keep thinking that, because it's quite interesting. Also, she has awesome powers. If I was a robot, I would love to have those powers. Water. Whoops. Water. You need it. As you can tell, I've been drinking a lot of water. Yeah, so there's a lot of characters in the show. It bounces somewhat well. Some of them. Also, one thing I do like, with all the key animated animes I've seen so far, all of their openings are very well done, in my opinion. I do have a kind of gripe with Angel Beats, is because with all the changing characters, they constantly have to change their opening. Because after you have your first main character go away, they change the opening for the new character being introduced, and then they just keep adding characters every so and now, and it's like, and taking away characters, it's like, yeah, it gets annoying in my opinion, but it's still very good. So, yeah. All the music in this is awesome. That's performed by the anime's ingrained anime band. Awesome. That is kind of it. I'm kind of rambling now. So, thank you for watching, and next week we'll be getting to my favorite out of the 4 key animated animes I've ever seen. If there is still a week left in May, which I do think there is, since this is only about the 14th. Right? 14th? Yeah, 14th. So, with the last week, I will probably be reviewing the films that are also part of these things, to kind of give a take on those as well. So, thank you all for watching. Also, remember, have to drink your water, because water's good. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.